Hello, everyone. It is Saturday, and it is the day that I clean my house, and that means I get to stay behind and walk down to our property that we're working on a little later because I gotta wash the clothes and clean the floors and vacuum and do all the things. So, I didn't tighten this enough. It's very loose. So I figured I would record my YouTube video now while I'm waiting for clothes in my dryer to dry so I can accomplish two things at once. Time management, I suppose. And be able to still get a video out this week. Building supplies have started showing up. And we are currently working on the roof. We are stripping it right now. And a surprise to us was that there were 3 layers of shingles on the thing. Of course, we never climbed up onto the roof to confirm. Theodore, that's enough. Lay down. And they didn't have felt paper down, so the shingles are sticking to the wood for the roof, which makes it a absolute nightmare to take it off. So what should have taken us a day to strip the entire roof is now probably going to take us all weekend. We were able to get yesterday probably about like 3/4 of a half of one side of the roof done. So we're hoping we have a couple more people coming, and we use safety harnesses on the roof. Whoa. That's gonna need glued. But we use safety harnesses on the roof. You attach anchors and stuff to with anchor bolts to the peak of the roof, and then you have a long rope and stuff that you just reach behind you, and I don't know how to describe it. You stick the safety harness on, it goes onto your body, and then there's a loop, a metal loop on the back that you attach. These ones have carabiners that slide along, like it slides along the rope. So you can lengthen or shorten your rope. So that way, whenever you're on the roof, if you would slip and fall, not only would it catch you, but you can make it so that way, say you only have 3 or 4 feet of slack on your rope, so that way if you do fall, you're not falling off the edge of the roof. And we have a couple extra people coming hopefully today and tomorrow to help. So hopefully they all have safety harnesses, but we still have to anchor. You can only stick, I believe it's on those, it's only recommended to have 2 people hooked up to one anchor at a time, and there should be an additional 2 people coming today, so we'll have to add another anchor to the roof so that way nobody can fall off while they're walking around up there because of how many layers of shingles there are. The shingles are, like the top 2 layers are like if you step on them, like they're coming out from underneath you. So there's a high risk of somebody slipping. So we're not letting anybody on that roof unless they have a safety harness on, because I'm not having someone fall. I don't want that on my conscience, and I am a worrywart, and especially with like a lot of my loved ones, my nephew's up on that roof, my husband's up on that roof, my father's up on that roof, my son Damon was up on that roof. So with, you know, people that I love up there, high up off the ground, my anxiety goes through the roof. Once they're like on the roof itself, it's fine. It's the climbing over the edge of the roof that freaks me out. I'm always like afraid that they're gonna fall. And of course, they don't get their safety harnesses and stuff detached until they're on the actual ladder to come down from the roof. But it still doesn't quell my anxiety. I'm constantly panicking that someone is going to fall. And all of those guys, none of those guys are afraid of heights or anything. They laugh, and I'm not afraid of heights either. I mean, my dad is a contractor, and we were, I mean, gosh, as soon as we could climb, we were up there on top of a roof with him all the time. And I don't know how my mother did it, because I panic. And I don't know if it's just because with like 2 of my pregnancies, I struggled with carrying my children, but I don't know what it is that causes me to panic, but it does. And so I don't really watch them climb on or off the roof, because I can't do it. Even though that I know that like the way that they're doing it is the absolute safest way. I mean, the entire length of the roof is set up with it's a walk plank. So it's not like if they would, you know, slip right there at the very edge of the roof, that they wouldn't have something immediately to land on. I don't even know what it is. It's my brain is weird. But anyways, so we are struggling with that roof, and it's kind of frustrating because we expected to have that roof completely stripped of all the old shingles and everything yesterday, and instead it's going to be slower progress than what we wanted. So now we're going to have to work on getting that roof. Hopefully we can get it completely stripped today, which I have a feeling it's going to go into Sunday that we are stripping that roof. So, and then we can start shingling it. And of course, we got a rainstorm last night, and obviously we tarped the roof and everything. But man, it was just like, of course, it wasn't supposed to rain, and so we were like, all right, cool, we'll do the roof at this point, because really we couldn't do nothing else in the house until that roof was taken care of, other than like the plumbing. That wouldn't have been affected with any rain, but we always like to try and shore up the entire outside of the house before we do anything inside, so that way, you know, in case, because that roof was leaking in one spot. So, you know, you don't want to ruin work that, you know, you already paid for and put in. That would just be silly. And so, really, it's just kind of finishing getting things fixed up and getting things done and get that done. The place that we ordered our dumpsters from finally came and picked up the last full dumpster that we filled. Almost, it'll be a month ago Tuesday that we filled the thing. Well, no, it'll be a month ago Sunday that we completely filled it. And then we called on that following Monday to have them come and pick the dumpster up, and they didn't even pick it up until yesterday. And in fact, my husband had to kind of call and yell at a lady. She owns the company, and explain to them, like, this is it's as far as land goes, this is not a large property at all, and the dumpster is literally sitting in the driveway, so everybody has to park either on the street or what little front yard there is pull into that front yard. And it's just kind of like, this dumpster is in our way, and we have deliveries and stuff coming, and there's no way to get the delivery truck here because that dumpster is sitting in the driveway, because the road that's out in front of it is along a river. So it's a little bit of a narrow river road, and you literally need that driveway in order to maneuver those very large trucks. And she kind of gave my husband, well, it's the busy season and all this stuff. And he's like, I can understand that, but the dumpster's been sitting here almost a month. And he's like, it's kind of ridiculous that it's been sitting here for this long. He's like, I can understand like a week, 2 weeks, but a month? You're telling me in an entire month you haven't had one chance to stop and get this dumpster? And she's like, well, I'm not sure what happened. And then she gave him another excuse. And he was just like, I don't care what you have going on at this point anymore. Like, this dumpster has to be moved, or I'm not going to be able to get my deliveries. And if you want to pay for all the delivery fees and stuff, then fine and dandy for whenever, but otherwise, like, I need this thing moved. And he did that Thursday, and yesterday was Friday. And they literally came Friday while we were there stripping the roof. And the delivery guy, he was like, yeah, I'm not sure what happened and why this didn't get picked up. He goes, I had 2-3 days last, in these last 4 weeks that I haven't had any deliveries or pickups. He's just like, I don't know what she's talking about. We weren't that busy, and like, I did not get any of your paperwork stating that this needed picked up until today, and I'm here today to pick it up. He's like, so I'm not sure what she's talking about. And so we just think that at some point in time there was a mix-up, and someone in the office didn't report over. And I was just like, I don't really care, but I'm not being charged for this dumpster to sit here when we had called to have it removed long before the time was ever, before we would be charged extra for it sitting there, because you only have 1 week before they charge you an extra $10 a day. And I was like, I don't really care. I'm just not being charged the extra $10 a day for almost 4 weeks of it sitting there when it wasn't our fault. So we will see how that goes. But hopefully, 2, 3, it's not so bad. I don't even think I said which one we're stitching on, but you guys see this often enough that you guys should know that this is the Epic Disney Princess SAL by the Clouds Factory, and it is stitched on 18 count. It is hand dyed by me, and we are doing out the Alice in Wonderland add-on they have. And then I have the add-on for Encanto, and I also have the add-on for Raya and the Last Dragon that I will also be stitching on here. And then we start getting into the patterns that I made, and I still have like 4 more to stick and make. I think it's 4 that I need to get a work on there. I probably should take my laptop over to, do I want to take it that far though? The job site. I mean, that's kind of risky, because I could work on some of those patterns there. And I could also edit this video while I was there. I wouldn't be able to upload it because there's no internet or anything, but I could get some things done. Decisions. You know, with stuff flying off the roof, I just don't want to risk taking my laptop down and it getting broken, because that is the kind of luck I have. And that is exactly what would happen. And I would not be happy. Oh, I'm just trying to decide. You know, I think I will just leave the laptop here. I mean, in all honesty, I have how many of them already done? I can still get the rest of those done before I even get all the other ones stitched. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Did I move this? I feel like I moved it some. A little bit. Good enough. But yeah, they came and got that dumpster and got that done, and we were all covered in roofing tar and shingle dust and everything yesterday. It was insane. But hopefully and we did get every little wee tiny thing ordered. The only thing we haven't got ordered is we have to go down Monday to our window dealer and order all of the windows. But we ordered pretty much everything we need, other than like baseboards and trim. I didn't want to order that, even though they would have delivered it at a different time. I need to see the flooring down, and I need to see the walls painted, just to get a little bit of an idea of, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I have a picture of what I want the house to look like when it's done. However, sometimes, I don't know how to explain it besides, like, the house speaks to me and says, you know what? This is going to look better if it's done in this color, or, like I said, we have to do, like, the baseboards and the trim and the molding and things like that. And it's just kind of like, I don't know how to explain it besides, it's like the house speaks to me and says, like, this is the kind of character that's going to fit in this house. This is kind of trim and molding that's going to just, you know, fit the house. So, like, the things that I couldn't pick out have been done. Or, well, they still need to be done. But, okay, I got to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure I'm not going off track here. But yep, those little things still need to be ordered. And we still have to order the countertops, and we still have to order the backsplash. But hopefully that'll be done soon. And my mother-in-law wants to paint the rooms and stuff some sort of gray color. And I really don't want to paint it gray, but at the end of the day, she's got to live in it, not me. 2, 3, 4, 5. I like color. If you haven't been able to tell, whenever you look at my room, my living room that you guys always see me in, it is painted blue. And I just like those kind of colors. I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And like my kitchen is in like a tan color. My bedroom is painted in sort of like a green shade. My daughter's room is painted pink because that's what color they picked out. I don't know, I just kind of like that kind of a look, so to speak. I like color. But the other thing that worries me is that she has gray furniture. So I feel like with gray furniture plus gray walls, that's going to be a lot of gray in one space. But that's me, and it's her house, and she can paint it whatever color she wants to, because when at some point in time when we go to sell the house, I can paint it whatever colors I want to. And while she's living there, I just want her to be happy and feel like it's her house. So I don't want her to think she has to go along with anything we say. I don't want her to feel like she doesn't have any... What in the world is that? Ew. It's like a... Oh, it's grass from outside. Jeez. So we are making progress on that house. It's just going to be slow going right now. Once we get all the big jobs done, everything else will go pretty quickly. I'm just hoping we can get a lot more done than we need to this week. I'm hoping while my husband has off, we can take care of most of the big projects. So that way, I mean, I don't think we'll get the drywalling up anymore, but I'm hoping we can get all the wiring, plumbing, and that roof done, so that way those portions are finished. We will see. This one, right? Double check. Yep. And of course, it's like in the high 80s, and of course we're on that roof. So that means it's sweating buckets out. Yeah, but I guess my purpose while I'm down there, because I'm not up on the roof, I'm what we call the gopher. I go for the things they need. They need, you know, if they drank all their water that they have up there, they let me know, and I bring them a new bottle of water. If they've, you know, if they need a different tool or whatever, I go and get that. Or if they, you know, anything that they would need, that's my job, is to go and get it, climb up the ladder, and bring it to them. So that way they don't have to climb up and down a ladder, you know, and unhook themselves 800 million times. It's really my only role right now. Once we get into the wiring and the plumbing, I'll be helping more with that stuff. And then like dragging, hanging the drywall, the cabinets, things like that. That's more stuff I can help with. So those are the things I can do. I thought for a second I stitched this entire head in the wrong spot. I about cried. But I didn't. We're okay. It is currently, right now, just now 9 o'clock. So I probably have about another, well, as soon as that dryer's done. That stitch looks funny, but I don't care. I'm just gonna leave it. And I mean, I will say that's the one thing that is kind of annoying about this project, is because there's such tiny motifs and stuff, you do have to switch out your thread a lot, which is why I like stitching like Mirabilias, Bella Filipinas, things with, I don't want to say more block of color, but I like being able to, I don't mind changing my threads, but I prefer sticking to it for a while, like being able to stitch for a little while before I have to change a thread. Confetti stitching drives me completely insane. I hate that. 718. The next color. And I have to leave out of here by a certain time, or the fairgrounds is going to be closed off, and then you're going to have to pay to get in. And I'm not paying $5 to just walk across it, so that way I don't have to walk the whole way around it to get to that house. It's just easier to walk through it. So we will see how all that goes. This is down to over 1. Okay, there should be 1 stitch, 2 stitches that is blank, this one, and then I need to go here to attach my thread. Nope. I need to go, yeah, here to attach my thread. Attach the floss. Kind of getting hungry now. I might have to get myself a snack. And then we can go up here. Down here. Nope. I just stuck that in the wrong spot. Of course I did. It goes here. It's a 3/4 stitch. And then up. Then we have another 3/4 stitch. Get that done. Skip 1. And then we need to come over here and do this. Come on. Slit that thread. There we go. out by 2 here. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff going on and being worked on right now, so we're doing everything. I don't know what's going on with Grandma Joanne. I gotta get over there and make sure she's doing okay. I talked to her yesterday on the phone and she just didn't sound good. And I don't know. I want to sit down and visit her and see her and see how she's doing. And I just love her to death. She just didn't seem like she was feeling too good. And I don't... She just seemed down in the dumps. And we would go over there, mow her grass, and visit with her for a while, and see what she's up to. Oh, I don't have too much longer. I can do this. It's gonna have to be a little bit of a shorter video this week. You know what? Maybe you guys can write down in the comments, like, what's your, like, preferred length of video that you'd watch? Like, do you prefer the ones that are, 20, 30 minutes? Do you prefer the ones that are 30 to an hour? Do you prefer the ones that are, an hour or longer? Because I sometimes feel like I don't have much to tell you. And I don't want to sit here and drag it on or bore you to death with nonsense. There's a foot sticking up there. This is the Cheshire cat. Oh, I did have somebody ask me how I organized these on here. And I organized mine by, well, one, I picked out which films were me and my children's favorite movies, because it is me and my children that watch Disney movies. Well, more so me and my girls. My one's 24 and the other one's 17. They don't really care about Disney movies anymore. Although Damon and Tony, every once in a while, if we're watching like one of their favorites that they liked as a kid, sometimes they'll sit down and watch them with us. But their favorite movies that they've watched, and then in between these pieces of the border, I stitched, I don't know if there's an easier one to show. Not really. It's all kind of covered up. I stitched the name, and then this, for me being, I live in the United States, I listed their release date in the United States. So then I started with the oldest movie that we liked and released, and then went down. No, I went across. I think I went across with the way they were listed. Yeah, it would be across this way, horizontally, that I listed out the movies and placed them on here based on when they were released in the United States. And that's just how how I did it. I like order, and I felt like that was orderly. And then I started a couple of the characters first and was getting annoyed with flipping through a bunch of papers to figure out where each one was placed, and then decided, if you just go ahead and stitch the name of the movie and the year it was done and get that over with, then you don't have to have the extra paper that tells you when, because I didn't have them in order of on the paper when the movie was released, and the name of the movie. It'll already all be on there for you, and all you have to do is, when you come across a square, and it's going to tell you which one belongs where, so you don't have to do anything anymore. So that was the easiest way, and it made sense to my brain to stick all the movie names and the dates on, so that way I could get rid of an extra sheet of paper that I would have to search on the paper to find out which movie was released next, because we didn't, like I said, I didn't write them down in order. It was just me and my kids sitting down and talking and explaining, listing out our favorite Disney movies and things like that whenever I was writing them down. And then I just went online and searched to find out when they were released in the United States, and then wrote down what year they were released next to the movie title. And so I would have to search that list until I found the oldest date, and that was frustrating. But Alice in Wonderland is going to be complete soon, and that was down 2 over 2. And my belly is getting kind of hungry. And with being outside in that hot sun and everything else, I've got to pick something that's going to be easy on the belly. I need to make the grocery list that we need this week. And that dryer is finished. I'm going to have to do that. And switch that over. Finish this section here with you guys, and then I'm gonna have to get off here because that dryer is done and it needs switched over. And as soon as that's switched over, get the rest of the things, a few things I need to get done, and leave out of here. I gotta remember to grab my checkbook, because the tree trimmer is coming today, and I'm kind of excited to see how they do that one. That'll be kind of cool, how they take those trees down, because that one is really bad over top of that poor neighbor's. It's actually like pushing in and growing into his outside of his garage. So I'd like to see how they're, I know they have to use a bucket truck to remove it, but I think it'll be pretty cool to see it get done. Alright, that is that little section there stitched. There's still more of that color, obviously, for the cat, but only, can I tie that off? No, there's a little bit of thread there. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go get my laundry done. I'm going to quickly make my grocery list that we're going to need to pick up, because we might do that tonight. before we go to bed because we have to get up on those because of how hot it is. We get most of our work done on that roof first thing in the morning and closer to in the evening when it's not so hot up there, because during the during the hot sun of the day, being up there on that roof and it being black and tar and everything else, it's very, very, very hot. So it requires taking a lot more breaks and making sure everybody's staying hydrated and nobody's going to get overheated or have a heat stroke or anything. So I have got to get my butt moving. But anyways, thank you for watching, guys. I will see you guys next week. Bye.